Yeah, we had a good discussion on that and check with others. Yeah, something like that was not on the farm.
Yeah, I didn't think it was, but I wasn't sure.
I think in the past, some of them were, yeah, they really did.
How are you?
But probably best just.
Yeah.
So, and then,
Yeah, they need to be on there, so that's what,
you got grants.
so,
Yeah, they put them all hot.
yeah, there's a lot of them, they all, so, yeah. So it was one of the funds told me, some agencies never.
Oh.
Okay.
But, and I checked, we were good. Yeah, well, you read it, so it's kind of switch inside.
So it's going to translate.
Yeah, you gotta look at it and,
Look at it, yeah.
sometimes look up the meaning of the word.
Well, that'd be me, Bob, that'd sure be me.
Cause sometimes it's kinda, and then it depends on
Commissioners.
how it's being applied, and then the next paragraph might wipe that one out too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless this, and then the above does not apply. That kind of thing.
Good code.
Yeah, all right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
Look at me.
Morning.
What's your stand on trouble?
Oh, so far, good for you. There's a few more hours than that.
Yeah, this is our
What's gonna happen?
This is what you got.
So, yeah, I already ordered the parts.
But that's nothing to do with.
Oh, wait, that's yourself or you?
This has nothing to do with.
I'll use myself or I'll have.
No, I don't know, I didn't think so. I just.
It's nice to get.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know. Did you get anything on that? Explain it to us. What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, we have different. Here I see it right now.
Oh, good some.
I got it somewhere. I misplaced it. No, here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I won't get the parts until.
We had a couple of papers for file.
Okay, she went to the,
Yeah, I just.
not enough bag.
That's small as you was doing. No sense in drawing on your desk, just have you from back over that.
Left you all alone?
No, I was leaving service.
Did a lot of people not come to service because of that?
I
Or
just-
just back?
There was about as many at our church as normal, so, yeah.
I don't need it.
I didn't make a point of it.
So you said they were talking about recycling the blades here, they were cutting them up here and
They're
then
cutting them
leaving?
up and then hauling them someplace to recycle.
That's ridiculous, they'd be spraying fiberglass everywhere. I mean, that's part of the reason they don't recycle them here in the first place, is because they don't wanna spray the fiberglass into the air around here.
Why not? It kills some butt people out there.
And get into the farmland. So, yeah, I guess if we wanna spray.
Well, I just read that the amount of plastic they find that is double over it. I say double. That's all. But I mean, we're talking minute particulates. Plastic stuff that is in our food containers and water bottles. It's making it past the blood barrier.
Well, and stuff that people inhale probably gets into your bloodstream probably quicker, that's. But yeah, just think of all those fiberglass particles that are getting into the ground over there. They're cutting it in the county. The Vienna farm that they just finished repurposing, the blades are hauling away, he says that they're cutting them here. I'm not sure, he said they're hauling them out, but they're cutting them here and then hauling them off, so that's just as bad as trying to, as part of the recycling at one of the centers. I mean, that's why they closed down that one center, for fiberglass.
Did you get permission to leave the house?
It is? No, actually.
Man, those are some massive wheels they got on there.
This is
Off-roading? It's off-roading?
Alaskan tundra walker. That other one just wouldn't quite cut it up there. At least not. The things I was doing.
Is Kurt coming today?
Those things.
As far as I know, but I know it was in Florida.
I got a question for you.
Because he's only got 5.
Yes.
He was in Florida on Saturday.
Huh.
One of the tests I saw.
When it comes to a farm,
I know I went over to the Met Methodist, we went for supper yesterday, the high school.
That's what I heard.
I put my phone on vibrate.
Anyway,
And it was pleasant. It was. Wasn't a full row.
And it's unreal. It's gotta be true. And I want to bring it up to you.
Didn't answer that, did you?
It's gotta be.
No, that's one of them.
Taxation.
I believe that's what.
checking to see if you.
Had some reason. Yeah, figure it out. I know it's right. You did. Never did.
Yeah, I've seen that online. No, that's our security thing. They're setting- they
Morning.
separate
How are you?
That's all it is. I'm pretty sure.
My air conditioner's on its last legs. I'm like, this is one of the worst days for me to do that.
I mean.
We went through 2 air conditioners this summer.
Yeah?
Already, yeah.
Were they like just old or just not the best?
It's not the best thing. Just quit.
Appliances just don't last as long as they used to.
No.
I didn't know the other day.
Refrigerators or air conditioners.
But that's gotta be.
Vibrate.
Then you get in your car, we go home.
Okay.
Oh, of the one to add it to the ballot.
Yeah. Then it would be.
Yeah, people live in town. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't people in town get taxed on their property?
We're talking about farmland.
Oh.
1,000 acres of farmland, it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, from what I can see on that.
And I took it the same way you took it, and I take it the same way it's written down there, that it was for all taxable properties.
Of assessed value on all taxable property.
All of my property, everything.
Or 3 acres in town, yeah.
Let her know.
Yeah, or three acres, you bet.
Yeah, compared to.
That's okay. It's just, well, it's 8:30, let's call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comments on agenda items only, 15 minutes.
take off a week or what?
A couple weeks ago.
Got a couple questions for you, concerning the 75 cents per thousand that the EMS is requesting. How much money will that raise countywide, and how much will it cost, say, the average farmer with 500 acres? I mean, I'm looking at this gentleman back here, because I figured he would know more than anybody.
The amount of money raised at 75 cents is gonna be $885,096 a year. And how much that would cost a farmer, I apologize.
Depends upon their valuation,
Yeah.
correct? So, can I ask Bob Bokum a question? Okay, last week I saw an email concerning Salt Creek Wind, turning in a bunch of building permits. I was wondering if you could expand on that. I'm sure the public would like to know.
Well, they turned in their building permits on that project this time.
Okay, so if they wanted to redo it, they'd have to start from square one concerning those building.
They would have to reapply for building permits.
Thank you very much. Thanks for letting me ask him.
David Turner from, just west of the city. I got the paperwork from the folks from EMS last week, and it's a little confusing to me so far. They had the assessed CSR valuation at $1,854 per acre. I don't know if that is how they're actually figuring it out, because I've heard people talking about acreage is about 10,000 an acre. So they come up with an evaluation of 1,854, and they multiply it times a rollback of 71.8370%. And on 640 acres, there's the taxable value is 852,389. The levy of 0.75 comes up. They said it says annual tax increase is $639.29. I don't think that's
That'd be on 640 acres.
right.
Yeah, I got that, I finally found the paper.
And so, you know, my only concern is if it's actually $10,000 an acre is what, or $10,000 per acre, and they multiply it by 75 cents, that's a lot more money.
You're comparing acreage to a farm ground.
Right.
It's two different things.
Right.
If you got an acreage, you got 5 acres.
Right.
With a house on it, it's gonna bring a lot more per acre than it is if you got 500 acres over here.
Right, so the farmer, I figured mine's gonna be $180 total, is what mine's gonna be.
I figured mine up, it's gonna be over 600.
Yeah, so my only concern is if it's gonna hit the farmer a lot more than it does somebody in town, I'm a little concerned about that, because most of the responses are typically inside the town. When a farmer has an accident, it's usually pretty bad. That's my only concern, is I just wanna make sure that the farmers aren't being hit a lot harder than they ought to be for. And I am for this.
Thank you for
Most of
staying
those-
with us, David.
Yeah, well, I've got 7 acre, but I'm not farming it. But no, my biggest concern though is I just wanna make sure that we're not unfairly hitting somebody, for taxes when, you know, we do need this though.
Absolutely.
I mean, most of the people who are responding are older than me, and I've done CPR once.
Carolyn Adolph's Minnesota area. I don't have this well thought out, but David Turner brought up a point that I would like to expound on. I live, it takes an ambulance, I know, at least 20 minutes to get to my place, Paradise. And I don't know, and maybe this is state law, I don't know, but why isn't this tax just on residences? And it's on our land, you know? And I don't know, maybe you can't change that, I don't know, I'm just bringing up a point. It seems like it should just be on residences, because this isn't the land, my land doesn't need the EMS coming out there, you know, it's my residence, and everybody lives somewhere, you know, and then because I live so far away from any town, which is, you know, my doing, I can't complain about that, but, you know, I'm gonna be paying, like you said, would you $600, it should just be on residences, and this isn't anything with you guys, I don't know where this comes from. And I'm not against it, I think we need it, but why is it on the land, the more land, or a business? I don't like it when it's on a business either, it should just be on the residence. So I don't know if that's something that could be looked into, I don't like that in general on other things, but particularly this, so it's just, I'm just throwing out the question, I think you need to think about that, and I don't know, there might be some state laws, who knows, there's probably something somewhere, but when David brought that up, I thought, yeah, that's a really good thing.
I believe this is state control, isn't it?
Correct, this is,
Yeah, this is all through the legislature.
So it's gotta just be on the land, I mean.
that's the way, yeah, it was written.
Yeah, that's always state.
All right, it's 8:45, close the public comment time. Is there a motion to approve previous minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
So Bill, I'll second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Bill.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Morning, Ben.
Hand that over to Kurt's desk too.
So, Iowa Bridge and Culvert is getting close to finishing up all their, contract work. They're on F Avenue, they poured the last concrete for that box. And once the concrete's reached strength, they can start backfilling. And then on E Avenue, just west of there, they're gonna get the rock on that today, and hopefully they'll be open by the end of the week here, this week, so. And then we're going back to 8-hour days, after Labor Day here, and then, the mowers will be starting back as well, so. So Monday here, we're working on K Avenue between E29 and 245th Street, doing some grade improvements in that area, kind of bringing in the edges and kind of doing some ditch work there. And tomorrow, Tim and I will be driving the roads with Mid-American to approve them to return the roads back over to the county. I know Mid-American was planning on bringing something to the board as well on that. So I don't know if that'll be next week or the following week, that we'll have something along the lines that we're proving that, their turnover of the roads, so, since we have road haul, or road use agreement with them on that, so. And then, I guess another meeting, I'll be meeting with FEMA this week, kind of going over the late May flooding that we had, and kind of going through the different culverts and projects and bridges that we had to kind of do my first FEMA deal, so that'll be fun, so.
You'll enjoy yourself, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure, so.
They will enlighten you.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll definitely enlighten me, so.
Hey, Dan.
That's it.
I have something for Ben real quick. That road leading to Montour, I called John a couple months back. It looks like there's some more erosion happening along maybe the west side.
Okay. Alright, I'll take a look.
Thank you. I don't have anything for you, Ben.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
Alright, thanks guys.
Thank you very much. Tammy.
Hello. Hey, I think I'm gonna give you. The did she print off the prescription or the glass, safety glass thing?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Well, that's okay, I printed it off for you too. I'll wait, fine.
Oh, my.
Okay,
yeah,
so, this one is, and I assume you got the Jeremy one too? Yep, that one?
Yep.
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 You got that one, so I'll have to give you that.
Okay.
I think that's all the paperwork I probably had for you, yeah, okay. So the safety glass one, that is, actually, most departments have their own policy, but their policy, it's mainly for prescription for, maintenance, road workers, that kind of stuff. And, so, long story short, we decided it'd be better just to have a policy, a county policy instead of a department policy, because, some of their glasses are $600 a pair. They were allowed to get 2 pair. So now we have 1 pair, 200 max. If you go above that, that's on you. We're not paying for that. And I think that's I think today that's very fair. They have state ANSI on them, so they have to be approved. And that gives, I think that's gonna save us a lot of money on those glasses. And so the requirements on that are, they definitely have to have the side, even if they can take it off, they still have to have it. Still has to be stamped ANSI. And then, it's department head approved prior to. The only place you're really gonna see this would be dirt, conservation, or roads. Those are the ones that are doing it. We just had a couple come through that were really pricey glasses, and I'm just like, man, I gotta change that, that's just out of control.
Okay, so do we need a motion to approve this?
You.
All right.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the safety glass program.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, the next one, that's the, public safety, okay, so we had set that up earlier, that scale, Jeremy had set it up according to certifications. And since Jeremy's here, I'll let you explain to him why he wants to change it. It's not a bad change, it's to make it so that you don't have one employee getting more than, I can't remember how you told me this.
So it's, we're not increasing what the pay is, we're just splitting it out, so the INTD, the Incident Tactical Dispatcher, is a federally funded program, and that's only offered a couple times a year. And so that delays them getting that certification, plus, to get signed off on their task book, they have to wait on an exercise that's put on by, more than just a local, agency, so there can be long delays in that. So I'm looking at increasing the pay for the certified training officer, which is somebody that goes through the training to train new dispatchers. It's an ongoing process. They help maintain the training program. As it is right now, there's no incentive, there's no additional pay for them to do those added tasks. And so I wanted to split those two. So it'd be $1 after the CTO and then $1 for the INTD, for that $2 total.
No more money, just splitting it out.
Just moving it around.
Just moving it around so it's, a
Fair.
little bit better for him.
All right, Bill?
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the public safety telecommunicator pay scale.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Okay, next one, Conservation Board, Miss Dunning, as you know, we kinda talked, I had contacted her and spoke with her, on 2 occasions. I did a little snooping around, and then I had great conversation with her, about her skills and what she would bring to the board, and so my recommendation would be that you appoint her to the Conservation Board. And she's a little, the fun part about this is she's a little bit younger, and she's involved in, she knows about funding, grants, which are all things that, she'll bring a lot to the table, I think, for for conservation board. So,
May I just ask which part of the county she's from?
she's living, dang, where'd she say she, she lives in Garland.
Let me just say, I also appreciate finding a woman, thank you. It's good to have that balance.
Yeah. Oh, I think she's gonna be fabulous. I really do, I think she's gonna be great. Yeah, I spoke to her quite a bit, so, I would definitely recommend her for that
We're lucky
position.
to have her apply.
Yeah, I think so,
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Danielle Dunning to the Conservation Board.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Tammy, we need back up, we need to set up the public hearing to amend the ordinance.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, we just blew right by that.
I was just waiting to the last one.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
just
wait
blew
for you.
right by
I
that.
wasn't gonna let you go by.
Yeah, we do need to do that, just to change the wording. It really doesn't mean anything.
So, by the time I can get it to the paper, I can't get it turned in until you guys approved it, so it'll get to the paper, so it should be in the paper on September 6th. Gotta give it 10 days, so the first public hearing could be held September 16th. And then we could do the 23rd and 30th for the other two, if you so choose.
Right.
And I recommend 8:50, that way it gives time for Ben to maybe come in and discuss first, and then we can do it after
Yeah,
he.
okay.
Sounds great.
That sounds good.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Anything else, Tammy? Thank you. We got a boatload.
I know.
Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll make the motion to approve this week's claims.
Claims this week are $98,845.02. I will second that, Bill. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. We'll pay them claims. Morning, Michael.
Hey.
How you doing?
That was good
How
to us
about
this
you?
week.
Can't complain. Pretty early in the day, though.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. All right, change next week's meeting
Yes.
due to the holiday.
I'll make a motion to approve, or to change next week's meeting from Monday to Tuesday at 8:30.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Discuss and approve a resolution to direct commissioner elections, submit question of adopting a levy, imposing a voter approved EMS ad valorem property tax.
Do you want me to read the resolution? It's a big one. Or there's copies on the table if everybody looked at
I
it.
think everywhere has one, if they want.
Yeah.
Big resolution.
There's a lot of reading.
There it is.
If I can read in there, so.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 826, 2024A.
I will second that.
Okay, and it is a resolution, so we need roll call vote. Bill?
Aye.
And Dan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Anything else?
Looks like that's it. So would you like me to adjourn you at 8:57?
If you would, please. Thank you.
Dan, I do need to have you sign for that resolution, but I accidentally had Bill down as the vice, so I need to change that before you can sign it. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Good job.
Right, but we don't have enough businesses in the county. We don't have the people, we don't have the people coming into the county to do this. No, they talked about it when they first brought it up, they.
Yes, correct, yes.
Either on sales tax
My
or
bedtime, so.
on property tax.
They don't like.
We don't have enough people in the county to make the sales.
Ready to stay in the air today.
Sorry.
I said, it's a good couple bumming days.
That's why we're on the The levy is not a solid value. I mean, there's a percentage. So it makes it harder. Like, see you like, next time. So there's a different packet that they usually.
I'm just gonna be outside.
Once they've got it, I show them the first, their funding's valued at $1,800.
See you later, Richard.
Well, I don't know if that's the actual.
But it says that, and it comes
Down there.
My car's got a slow.
What, so that's back on the Brian point.
Try to try this.
Yeah. Yeah, I told that.
if you do the math of that,
Right. And it was probably just the stamp. It was gotta be replaced. Either that or it's got a real small nail.
Feeling nice?
Which are
What else, today on the state of the air conditioning.
I go from here to before I leave this
I figured it was just about.
Everyone I've talked to had the same opinion.
So I don't know.
Jeremy, I'll see you on Thursday. Okay. Yeah, yep. Got it right here too.
I know what you're saying. I don't know.
Doing that.
Did you say they're supposed to have two public hearings?
Yeah, we'll have a, I think we did have that. They're all in, that's going on the,
vote.
That's, this is. Resolution.
That's the one on the,
That math is not even out of that.
I know, that's not what we want.
It should be like,
This?
0.75 does not equal that.
So here's what I told you, the EMS people brings out. They need to put it in a document that says, if your house or your property value is this is how much it is. Not all this.
Yeah.
If you have the next here's what you're doing.
Put it in black and white.
Yes. And they had to get this done because Wednesday. You can't change it.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday?
This Wednesday.
Oh.
Everything has to be done by the, at least for people that's in Denver.
Ceremony. They're got married, so it's just a celebration.
have not either.
Freckle tell you that?
I never wear a watch unless I'm going somewhere, but my watch is a 10. So,
Thank you. Okay, I'm out of here. Okay, have a good day.
She didn't show up.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so I'll over to see her. She'll drive to Gladbrook.
Better not if you don't know how to do it.
Yes, we are.
I might turn it around the wrong way and probably have to turn it. That's the way I had it done. Dave said,
Anyway, you can make more copies of that.
Yes.
You'll be able to see the report. That's
Yeah, and they don't discuss it here. We don't know if they even discuss it at all. Huh? Yeah, but they don't discuss it amongst themselves or in detail.
Anyway.
Yeah. I talked to them after that.
That's awesome.
Anyway, you need out?
I met Mal.
Spend a day. He slept in today.
Okay, so you guys, did you see my house?
Oh, yeah. When was that? Oh, yesterday.
No.
Oh, yeah. He said he was busy. Yeah, in the garage. Yeah, we got to talk about this. Sunday school yesterday morning, nobody could figure it out. He talked I don't know, Lori, you know. And she said, yeah, we have a meeting on it every week. And so I went through this and she's just like us, you know. She's trying to figure it out on her calculator. And couldn't make any sense. And they own farmland.
Well, again, I think when it comes to the levy, there's different parts of the levy that affect town people, farmland, and conservation, and there's different factors.
Yeah.
And the factors are different, like the percentages kind of weird. I wanna make sure I understand what they're telling me, so I can speak intelligently. I am not for, if we're talking about an individual, the taxes should be fair, not based on, you own $1 million worth of equipment.
And they will be able to tell you
Like,
which one is the best.
those other guys are looking to hit us up with 25%.
That includes property, farming equipment.
No, but I'm talking about, don't give them any ideas. Because they're already going after the unrealized capital gains.
Yeah.
that's gonna kill us.
Oh, no, that's 20.
Yes, I saw that.
25%.
25%. Okay, my basis on my farm ground is $3,000 an acre.
Is the one that will.
Now they say it's 10,000.
Right, they're gonna tax you on that.
25% of that
7,000.
Insurance.
Yeah.
At some point in time, the government's gonna take over.
Take it over, yeah.
They're gonna just take your farms.
They're
Yeah.
trying to do that. And, I mean, they brought the death tax back, so I knew a family when I was working at Sept. They had to sell their farm because they inherited their grandmother's farm, which was bigger than theirs. But they had to sell their farm to pay the taxes, the death taxes on her farm.
Yeah.
So they would keep $2 million.
Because you're over 65.
So that's how you keep people from becoming rich and being able to play in their circle.
Yeah, just let me know.
I'm serious.
Call in first and then,
Like the Kennedy whiskey tax. The family, they negotiated that back in the early 1900s. The Kennedy family gets all taxes on the whiskey. All.
No, just call
The
them.
whiskey from Iowa?
Ireland.
Ireland, oh.
They negotiated.
And if you have to go somewhere, you have to go.
And so again, there's so much stuff that's buried in the law that most people don't.
Yeah.
There, I just don't.
It's always been that way, so we'll just continue that way, we won't ask any questions, we'll just
It's like the telephone tax for San Juan Hill. There was a 3-cent tax on every telephone in America to pay for the battle in
It used to be that you couldn't go up
Puerto
there,
Rico.
but you can.
Alright, until somebody finally goes, what is this 3 cents for? Oh, that's been in effect since 19, Teddy Roosevelt went there. It's been in effect ever since then, and no one had ever questioned it. Everybody's been paying taxes on it now. They got rid of it back about 20 years ago. But they had long paid for that, but since no one complained about it. It's easier to make $1 by getting a penny out home there on unsuspecting taxpayers than to go out and just take
Yeah, I used
Richard
to,
up there.
I used to always go to Marshall.
So,
They just tell you,
No, I heard that.
you have to go to Waterloo for everything now, so I don't know if there's like a book that just does paperwork or something.
Yeah.
I've done this one, I finally got smart and went over and had all my investments put under, Ryan, I keep on calling him Jason, Ryan Sultan at the bank.
Okay.
I wish I had done it 20 years ago. I'm making big time money. But big time for me, but I mean, still, that 25% interest on unrealized capital gains is gonna take away the interest.
Oh, yeah. Take away more than we're bringing in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they can't not spend money. And I have a major problem with them not being good stewards of our money.
But you need to understand this, because you're running or whatever this is. And if somebody asks you a question, you have to provide the answer. And you're smarter than we are, or me anyway. And you don't understand it. Well, how am I supposed to understand it? And you gotta be able to answer the question.
Somebody asked me a question, it's every 2 weeks to get the answer, you know, because,
Yeah.
but I said, look, I will get you an answer. Now, it may take a little longer, you know, but now that I'm retired, I'm not really, I'm getting,
Yeah, I know how it is.
I'm falling into the trap, and I said, what do you fall into? I told Nancy, use the no. No, I'm not doing it. No. What am I doing?
Yeah, they have those.
So, yeah, so we're doing okay with this stuff. I've cited 2 sides of my pole, and I've got the metal to do the.
Oh, you're siding the open hole.
Well, it wasn't open, it was just falling apart. And I've taken the cedar off, and I've cut the nails out, I've cut what I can salvage of the cedar. I don't know what I make, doghouse, birdhouses, I don't know, something. You know? So I'm doing everything I can to reclaim and repurpose all the stuff that's on the property. Now, some of the fencing that they left next to the tree.
You got Bohemian blood in your veins? Starting to sound like Bohemian.
No, my parents came from poor town, Anthony, Kansas.
Okay. I don't know, they're kind of spread all over. Yeah. You're thrifty.
Yeah, and when my parents moved from Ohio to Oklahoma, so my brother could help take care of them. My brother's going through the barn. There's an old cement barn, about a factory behind me. And my brother's going, oh no, I got another one. My aunt was there and told my sister, just another coffee can. Thousands of coffee cans.
Yeah.
When we were
They don't make them anymore, do they? Metal coffee cans?
Yeah, they do, but yeah, not often.
Do they?
When my dad was in England, my dad was a civil engineer, and he did up woodworking. He went out and bought, while he was there, brass screws, every size, every whatever. So he had Parkinson's, and he was declining, and I went there and I was gonna fix the fluorescent lights he had built and the frame around it and everything, so you could have, you know, rheostat for the yellow light. Well, he was moving so slow. We got into the attic and I pulled the wire out to replace it. And I said, hey Dad, I'm gonna need some screws to put this thing back together. Do you have any? I know full well he had them. And they were in, you know, he had to step over all kinds of stuff to get there. I was being mean to my dad. Because I sent him out to get the screws, which I really needed. Okay, but in the time that he did that, I pulled the wires, pulled the valve, replaced the lighting and everything, and it was all ready for him by the time he got back with those screws. So, but yeah, and they sold his house and everything at auction. I couldn't go to the auction, but I'm just saying, that was stuff that that was valuable that way. He had a $38,000 fifth wheel trailer with her house.
Really?
Yeah, and it was spotless. My dad took care of it. It was spotless.
Yeah.
But anyway, I am not a bohemian, but I probably know some. And it rubs off on you like, why are you throwing that wire away? You wrap it up, you might find a use for it. I threw away a rubber tire. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Inner tube. I threw away an inner tube. I shouldn't have done that because I know I'm gonna need to spring something.
I've given twice in my life. I remember twice in my life. I have given away things that I didn't use for 10 years, you know. Might as well give them, you know, my grandson, whoever. By God, it wasn't 2 weeks later on both instances I could have used it, you know. And I remember that, you know, it's up here.
I had that bolt. I should have hung on to it.
Yeah. I knew I shouldn't have given it away.
Yeah, I got old forest lights, fixtures with the lights, and they still work.
Yeah.
But I'm not using them. I'm using
Yeah, they don't. They're probably fluorescent. Yeah.
I just bought a packet of 10 LEDs.
That's what I'm gonna get.
Well, I already have some in my garage.
I've been hearing about it.
I bought 10 more. I've already got 8 in there. I got one because they quit working. But